Good day to you. My name is Maria Kondzielska Koper and this is Poland Daily Culture. And we are taking a closer look to the Middle East and the situation of the Christians and Catholics there, because with us on Skype is Xavier Bassett, a coordinator for Syria, Lebanon and Egypt for the aid to the church in need. Xavier, once again, thank you very much for calling us.
Thank you for having me.
Xavier, you are the coordinator for this very difficult region, and you tell us about the help for the Christians and Catholics there. Syria, as we all know, was recently destroyed by the war. Can you tell us how the churches looks like there? Where people pray? Where they receive communion, how does it go with the priest and with conducting the masses? How does it all looks like in everyday life?
Good question. So during the war, unfortunately, many important churches and many historical churches were unfortunately damaged and badly damaged by either intentionally by jihadist groups or unintentionally, as through the course of the war happening. This is especially the case in Aleppo and Homs, in Raqqa, in Deir ez-Zor and Jazeera and Idlib. Nowadays, the cities where there is still a large Christian population, for the most part, those churches have been repaired. So masses have resumed, thank God, and people are able to worship for the most part freely. However, there are still some historic populations of Christians which have not returned to their original homes because they were afraid to do so. And so in these cases, sometimes you still have churches lying half destroyed or fully destroyed. This is especially the case in northeastern Syria, which in the last few days has seen quite a lot of fighting between the Kurds and between local Arab tribes, and also especially in Idlib, which had a very large Christian population before the war, but now sees a lot of fighting between the government and Turkish-backed jihadist groups. So it is difficult for the local Christians to return, and actually a lot of the Christian homes have been confiscated by the local authorities. So the only Christians remaining there are now mostly people who are very elderly or disabled. So it is logistically impossible for them to get out, unfortunately.
That sounds like a very, very serious situation. And tell me, please, how the worships look like. Where people gather, is it free just to go for a mass, for example? Where do you attend a mass? And how many people are praying? Just saying those things. Not like if I want to ask you if you attend a mass every Sunday, but well, doing it there under certain situations, and seems like a little bit like a challenge, being like a superhero who can go to church.
Yes, well, I wouldn't say there's nothing superhero-like about it, but when I go to mass, and I do go to mass every Sunday, I love mass. I'm very grateful for that fact, because I know that in other parts of the country it is more difficult, and in other regions in the Middle East it is very difficult for Christians and Catholics to be able to go to mass. When I'm in Syria, normally I'm in Damascus, and there you have some very large parishes. Normally I go to mass at the Melkite Greek Catholic Patriarchate, where you would have a few hundred families forming part of that parish. And what is really beautiful is to see how engaged local families are in the church. It is so far from what we see today in the West. People take the existence of God for granted, and almost every Christian or Catholic child is involved in the church through scouts, through charitable activities, through pastoral activities, through prayer groups. And a big part of our mission as ACN is being able to support people to keep doing that, because this is what really encourages the Christians to stay when, unfortunately, so many of them are encouraged to leave and flee as refugees to Europe.
So it seems like when you're telling all of those details, maybe the church in Syria actually should bring the aid to us in the Western world, when we are very often are just skipping masses, or not at all involved in the doings of our parishes. We very often don't even know how what's the name of the local priest. And there, as you mentioned, it's the whole living community close to the church. Yes?
I 100% agree, and I think that's part of why the pastoral mission of ACN is so important. It's not because we care about Christians as an ethnic group, but it's because they're doing something as a minority which is very special, and which we have lost in so many other parts of the world. And this is why it's so important for us to help people stay in their homeland. And really, if you ask them directly, most of them do say that they want to stay. If you can solve issues for local families like the military service, poverty, jobs which they lost during the war, destroyed homes during the war or during the earthquake, people want to have the choice to stay, and they're very attached to their local culture, and especially their local religious community. They know, unfortunately, from experience, that many of the Syrians who go to Europe, they actually feel quite they often feel quite lonely because they miss out on a richness of experience and of community, especially in the context of the church, which is still very much alive and kicking in the Middle East, in spite of all the challenges.
Well, fingers crossed for all of your actions and this wonderful, wonderful doing. And to all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture, as you can hear, there are many things which Catholics and Christians here in Europe, and where it is free and not dangerous to go in the Sunday Mass, can learn from the Middle East. And this is the message also of the aid to the church in need. So check it out. And again, thank you very much for watching our show.